so I gotta talk for just a second here about turbos. Alright, what do we got going on here? So I gotta get this turbo in. There's a bunch of things that gotta get plumbed underneath it, and once it's in there, there's virtually no room to access anything. So I want to connect that starter now. I got a coolant line coming out of the block that supplies the turbo with coolant that I want to hook up. Basically everything underneath the manifold I want done before I put the turbo in. So we got a lot of work to do. I just got to get at it one thing at a time. Unfortunately, I broke off the bolts inside the turbo. Yeah, that's a bolt in there. That's also a bolt in there. Not sure how I'm going to get those out yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out, get an extractor or something. But it had to happen because I'm going to have to take this on and off a few times in order to get the downpipe figured out. A couple other things to talk about is that the turbo is actually bottoming out right where I made this line. And the coolant hose normally drains straight down and then comes into this connection over here. But it's not gonna fit. So when things don't fit, we have the tools to deal with that. Okay guys, let me just show you what's going on here. I have the header on the opposite way right now. I'll get some footage in a second and overlay what I'm talking about with the header facing the other way, but basically I was thinking about flipping the header around. There's a kit available to do that and have the turbo up here. My concern is it's going to hit the hood. The turbo is just so close. Actually, I'll just put the turbo on. Just hold on. Alright, so you can kind of see what I'm saying. Like, I could rotate the cold side and maybe make it work, but it's really tight fit, and this is definitely going to be less efficient. But in the footage that I'm overlaying, where the exhaust manifold's flipped the other way with the turbo in there, you can see I'm going to hit that fan motor. So I got to remove that fan motor and do some testing. My other concern is that the downpipe's literally going to be hitting right on the side of the frame. So what we're going to do is pull that fan motor out and do a little bit of a dry fit and just see what it looks like. Alright, so check it out. It actually fits in there quite nicely. Not terrible amounts of room, but I have two major concerns. Concern number one, if you look from directly over the top, you can see that downpipe, actually I might even be able to get a better view from in here now. So the downpipe right here is basically going to be hitting the frame. Like, it's going to come straight down to the frame, and I might be able to use some sort of flex pipe or something to get by that. I think we'll be able to make it work. It's going to be really hot on the frame and probably fry the paint, but we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. I think we're going to make this work. I think this is going to happen. Probably going to have to space the heater core fan motor out away from the firewall a little bit, which is going to kind of suck. Or maybe there's another option. I'll have to think about that a little more. So yeah, we got some stuff to overcome here. This is definitely gonna take a little bit of thought. But we can do it. That's the good news. We can do it. Hey guys, what's happening? This is Future Kyle here. So I need to get those two broken studs out of that turbo housing, and I'm going to overlay some footage right now of me attempting to do that. I have never had studs that were this difficult to get out. I used the torch, I used impact loading, I used liquid wrench, I've used every method I could possibly think of, left-handed drills, everything. I basically drilled those studs out down to the point where you can see the threads, and they are still not coming out. So what I need to do now is separate that turbo housing so that I can get that turbo housing on a mill and basically mill out those holes. I might have to oversize them, but I'm hoping I can keep them the same size. And you're gonna see here, I was struggling pretty hardcore trying to get this stupid turbo housing separated. Show you what we got going on. So I broke the two studs out on this side, which means now I need to take this side off, which I'm a little worried that some of these are going to break, but if it's going to happen, now's the time to do it. I don't really want to take them the entire turbo. I'd rather just take them the hot side housing and get them to mill them out. So I'm going to attempt this. I hope it goes good and doesn't break any more bolts. We're definitely going to put some high temp Loctite back in here when this whole thing goes back together. So these are not coming off at all. I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially just let that penetrant soak in for a while, come back and try another day. If that's still not working, I might just take the whole thing in and just not separate it. We'll see how it goes. Hey guys, just finished attempt number 3 with the penetrant and the heat and the wrench, and yeah, we're not making a lot of progress yet. Nothing's even budged. Turns out when something's been sitting for 40 years, it's an absolute pain to get apart, especially when it's been heat cycled. So, what do you do? We'll give it a couple more days and see what happens. Guys, what's up? I'm so pumped right now. I actually just got one of these to break loose. I had to put quite a bit of force on it. I honestly just kind of gave up. I was like, I'm just going to break it off. I didn't think I'd need to get on camera, and she actually came loose. So I'm super stoked right now. I'm going to see if I can get the rest of them off, and maybe I can show you the inside of this housing. Good news, good day. Hey guys, what is happening? I finally got all the bolts loose on the back side of the turbine housing. Really stoked about it. I know I showed this before, but maybe I'll cut it out and this will be a little bit more clear. You can see the penetrant got basically all the way down to the tip, so it just needed some time. I think I put about 5 applications on. Then I used some good old propane heat and broke them all loose. So they were definitely stuck in there. They made a loud snapping noise when they came out, but they did not actually break, which is great. So now I'm just soaking the housing, and hopefully we'll be able to get the housing off pretty quick here. Hey guys, so this is just me trying to separate the turbo housing. You can see I was struggling with it pretty good. I sprayed a ton of liquid wrench on it, hammered it. If you watch other YouTube videos, people are like, yeah, you just keep doing this and it'll eventually come off. Well, my problem is this is a basically 40-year-old turbo with 200,000 kilometers on it. 160,000 miles, 140,000 miles, something like that. And it's just heat cycled so bad, it just will not come apart. So I'm gonna have to use what I call the press method, and I don't have a press in my shop. So I'm gonna be taking this to a different shop and basically pressing that thing out and milling it. So that's gonna be it for today's episode. I wish I could have got it all done in one day, but I've got to get it separated so I can put the proper bolts back in, get it in the car, and then hopefully we can get this thing running. I really appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you liked what you saw. We got a lot more stuff coming up with this project, and we'll see you all next time.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way.
Something must have been attached on here. There's like a nut over top, and it's got a through stud. I don't know what would have been attached there. I'll have to look into that, but if anybody knows, throw it in the comments. Right here. I don't know how well you guys can see things half the time. I keep saying, I'm going to improve video quality. Well, here's my attempt. Make sure you leave something in the comments if you have an idea of how I can make this better. That's not what you want to happen. It's really not what you want to happen. Should have saw it coming. That's what happens when you have a 40-year-old turbo part. Breaks.